So tell me, does it feel like your wallets have a slow leak? Same here. That's why I put together this financial survival guide to help us all stretch our money smarter and stress less in 2025. Greetings, my beautiful souls, and welcome to our 2025 Cost of Living Guide. I know many of us are feeling the squeeze this year. Rent keeps climbing, our grocery bills are shocking, and everyday expenses seem to grow each month. It's not your imagination either. Things are more expensive. Global inflation has remained stubbornly high for the past 3 years. The average rent in most cities across the U.S. is now over $2,100 per month, and grocery bills are up nearly 18% compared to pre-pandemic levels. And that's not even factoring in our gas, insurance, or unexpected medical costs. Many of you are working 2 jobs and still can't seem to get ahead. Maybe you're choosing between electric bills or buying your children shoes. And for many of you, the dream of home ownership feels more like a fairy tale than a goal. The truth is, this economy is built to stretch you thin. But here's the good news. You don't have to face it alone. Today, I'm going to give you some real strategies, practical tools, and mindset shifts to help you not only survive, but take control and thrive. In this video, we'll break down why the cost of living is so high, share real stories from people who've overcome the struggle, and walk you through step-by-step strategies you can start using today to take control of your finances. There's no gimmicks, no get-rich-quick schemes, just simple, practical approaches that real people are using today. Let's get started by getting a clear understanding on what's happening in our economy. We all recognize that the economy and the nature of work has transformed completely in recent years. New technologies, particularly in artificial intelligence, have radically reshaped roughly 12% of the traditional jobs, which are service sector jobs. This shift has intensified competition in the job market and put pressure on incomes for many of us. Roles like customer service, data entry, and retail positions that have been replicated by machines or software are declining rapidly. Meanwhile, the demand has surged for jobs requiring specialized skills such as AI system management, renewable energy engineering, or roles that rely on human traits such as the healthcare, counseling, and creative industries. Essentially, the workforce is splitting into two lanes, one driven by tech literacy and the other by empathy and adaptability. Climate change has also impacted the economy and is now directly hitting our wallets through food prices. Extreme weather like prolonged droughts and erratic growing seasons have disrupted global agriculture, which is driving costs up. Wheat prices surged by roughly 35%, while coffee has climbed about 20% due to crops failure in regions like Brazil and Vietnam. Harvest. But it's more than just smaller harvests. Heat waves, floods, and wildfires are also inflating transportation and storage expenses, disrupting supply chains, and energy-intensive refrigeration adds layers of cost. Unfortunately, the climate-driven challenges compound at every step, leaving you to foot the bill for a less stable, more expensive food system. And let's not mention housing. Housing affordability has become a nationwide crisis as well, with soaring rent prices even in once affordable smaller cities. The rise of remote work has reshaped demand, enabling professionals to flee expensive metros only to drive up competition in previously quieter markets. This influx has triggered bidding wars for limited housing stocks, while new construction struggles to keep up due to labor shortages, zoning delays, and skyrocketing material. Lumber is up 25% since 2022. The result? A perfect storm. Building affordable units is increasingly unaffordable for developers, leaving renters and buyers trapped in the market with few viable options. What makes 2025 even more challenging is that while overall inflation is around 5%, the essentials you need daily are rising faster. Basic things like groceries, medicine, and housing costs are outpacing wage increases for many households. The average family is spending about 64% of their income on these essentials, up from 56% just 3 years ago. This isn't a problem that will disappear overnight, so you will need to develop some personal strategies. I'd like to share with you 3 households who have found creative ways to manage costs in 2025. Let's start with Maria, a 34-year-old nurse and single parent with 2 growing children. Her grocery bill was becoming impossible. She discovered something called Imperfect Produce, which is a delivery service that offers fruits and vegetables that might not look usual but taste the same. This saved her about $80 each month. She also transitioned from working 5 8-hour days in the hospital to 3 12-hour telehealth shifts each week. This helped her cut commuting costs and reduce what she spent on childcare. It's not perfect, but it made a huge difference in her life. If you try Maria's approach, begin by researching imperfect produce delivery services like Misfits Market or Imperfect Foods that offer weekly or bi-weekly deliveries in your area. Test it out first with a small initial order before committing to a long-term subscription. Next, approach your employer about telehealth or remote work possibilities, specific examples of how your role could successfully adapt to this arrangement. Calculate your potential child care savings thoroughly, including both reduced days of care and avoiding expensive peak hour rates. Finally, don't forget to account for those significant transportation savings from reduced commuting, including gas, wear and tear, and maintenance costs, which could average about $50 per day for each day you work from home. Now let's look at Dad, who is a 28-year-old freelance graphic designer. After his rent increased 30% last year, he couldn't make it work. He found a co-living space, especially for remote workers. For $900 a month in Austin, Texas, he gets a private bedroom plus shared kitchen and workspace. All utilities, internet, and even coffee are included, so his monthly costs are completely predictable now. To explore housing alternatives like Deb, start researching online for co-living spaces or digital nomad housing in your area. Create a detailed spreadsheet comparing all your costs, including utilities and amenities, against your current living expenses. Consider practical locations, factors like proximity to transportation and amenity. Visit potential spaces at different times of the day to experience noise levels and the community's atmosphere firsthand. Carefully review the lease terms, paying special attention to the guest policies, common area rules, and the conflict resolution procedures. If possible, speak with some of the current residents about their experiences. Finally, try to secure a shorter initial lease term to determine if co-living truly suits your lifestyle before making a long-term commitment. Lastly, here is Grace and Tom, who are a retired couple. They joined the community garden that costs $50 annually. They now grow about 60% of their own vegetables from spring to fall. They also discovered they could rent out their RV when they are not using it in a shared platform. This income helps cover their Medicare supplement premiums, which is about $400 monthly. To adopt Tom's cost-saving approach, begin by locating community gardens through your local parks department, extension office, or community websites. Apply early since most gardens have winter waiting lists for spring plots. Start your gardening with easy, high-yielding vegetables like tomatoes, zucchini, and herbs that provide good return for minimum effort. And connect with experienced local gardeners for regional specific growing advice. If you own underutilized assets like an RV or extra space, research some trustworthy sharing platforms such as RV Share or Outdoorsy, and calculate potential income against costs like insurance, cleaning, and maintenance before proceeding with any share agreement. Check with your homeowners association rules or rental agreements to confirm it's permitted, and establish a simple calendar to effectively track availability and manage booking. Now let's cover 4 practical strategies that you can use today. The first strategy is navigating today's job market. Many job openings today are never publicly posted. making it important to adapt a more proactive and tactical approach to job hunting. Start by creating a list of 10 to 15 companies you would like to work for. Then research that company's culture, recent project, and areas of growth to understand where you might fit in. Next, find employees from these companies on LinkedIn, especially those in the roles that are of interest, or department managers, and connect with them in a polite and professional manner. Avoid immediately reaching out to HR. They often receive an overwhelming number of messages. Instead of asking directly for a job, request a 15-minute informational call to learn more about the role and trends in the industry. End the conversation by asking if they can refer you to someone else to speak with. As you prepare your application materials, use free tools like Resume Maker or JobScan to optimize your resume by incorporating related keywords for job description. Since most companies use application tracking systems to screen resumes, tailoring your resume for each position and focusing on measurable achievements rather than just responsibilities is very critical. After applying, follow up with a phone call about a week later and be ready with a short, compelling elevator speech to explain why you're a strong fit. A single follow-up call and one polite email are typically appropriate. Lastly, keep yourself organized by documenting every application in a simple spreadsheet. Track the company's name, role, date applied, contact made, and follow-up dates to stay on top of your search, maintain momentum. The second strategy is reducing your monthly bills. Whether you know it or not, most companies have flexibility in their pricing, and you can leverage this to lower your monthly expenses by following a few intentional steps. Begin by collecting all your recurring bills, such as your internet, phone, insurance, and streaming services, so that you can identify a negotiation target. Next, contact each provider using a clear, polite script, which reads, "I'm going over my budget and wondering what options you have to reduce my monthly payments while keeping similar service." This approach sets a cooperative tone while signaling your intent to explore better rates. If the representative hesitates to offer any savings, escalate gently by mentioning the competition. "I received offers from the competitor. I prefer to stay with you but need a better rate." This subtly presses them to match the deals rather than losing your business. If you're looking for some cost-saving options, consider apps like Truebill or BillSharp, which negotiate bills on your behalf in exchange for a percentage of your savings. Finally, set calendar reminders to revisit negotiations every 6 months, as promotional rates or new discounts may become available over time. By combining direct communication, third-party tools, and consistent follow-ups, you can systematically reduce your monthly bills without sacrificing the services you rely on. Developing a secondary income is the third strategy. The most secure financial position comes from you having multiple streams of income. And the good news is that many of them require little to no startup costs. One great option is content editing. Start by creating a profile on freelance platforms like Upwork or Fiverr, highlighting your writing skills and uploading a few samples that showcase your expertise, whether it's academic, business, or creative. Many companies use AI to draft content, but still need a human editor to refine it, making this a valuable niche that can pay you $25 to $50 an hour. Using free tools like Grammarly to enhance your work, take on smaller jobs initially to build reviews, and consider creating editing templates to boost your efficiency. Over time, specializing in a niche like healthcare or marketing can allow you to command even higher rates. Another solid route is monetizing your practical skill. Things like cooking, pet care, tutoring, organizing, or tech support. Offering services in your local community using social media groups, neighborhood platform, or bulletin boards. Set fair prices slightly under what pros charge, but still value your time by researching local rates. Tools like free booking calendars can animate reminders for appointments, and positive reviews or word-of-mouth referrals will help you grow. If your work involves entering homes or handling valuables, consider liability insurance. And remember to track all income and expenses because many side hustle costs are tax deductible. Knowledge sharing offers a powerful way to monetize your skills. Whether you're a budgeting whiz, a home repair guru, or a meal prep master, start by packaging your expertise into bite-sized, actionable content. Think of step-by-step video tutorials filmed on your smartphone, visually appealing how-to guides designed with Canva, or weekly newsletters breaking down complex topics. Turn followers into paying subscribers by offering exclusive content, templates, or Q&A access for a monthly fee. Your success hinges on consistency, posting regularly, interacting with your audience through comments or polls, and refining your offerings based on their feedback. Launch with free starter content to build trust, then scale into premium tiers like custom coaching or community workshops. Over time, this cycle of creation, connection, and adaptation can transform your know-how into some sustainable income. Fourth and final strategy is future-proofing your skills. Investing your skills today can drastically boost your long-term earnings potential, and doing so doesn't require overwhelming time or resources. Start by identifying high-growth fields such as renewable energy, healthcare support, digital availability, AI prompting engineering, or data analysis, and use resources like the Bureau of Labor Statistics to verify job market trends. Next, leverage free or affordable learning opportunities like your public libraries, YouTube tutorial, or platforms like Coursera, edX, or Khan Academy, which offers foundational courses, while community college often provide low-cost certificate programs in emerging industries. Commit to consistency by scheduling 2 to 3 dedicated learning hours weekly. Treat these sessions as non-negotiable appointments, such as Tuesday or Thursday evenings. Break larger goals into manageable milestones and consider forming virtual study groups for accountability and resource sharing. Apply skills immediately through volunteer projects or personal initiative to build your portfolio, even if you're still learning. Update your resume as you progress using phrases like developing proficiency in data visualization or currently studying AI integration strategies to signal proactive growth. Simultaneously, join online communities such as Reddit, Discord, or virtual meetups to network and stay informed about your industry trends. Finally, pursue micro-credentials or digital badges, as many employers now recognize these as proof of specific capabilities. By combining structural learning, practical applications, and community engagement, you can systematically position yourself for career advancement and financial growth. And here's some broader solutions. While personal financial strategies remain important, systematic shifts are emerging to address affordability challenges on multiple fronts. Policymakers in growing numbers of states are exploring rental stabilization measures to curb excessive annual increases, offering relief to household burden residents. Simultaneously, food technology innovation, from vertical farming systems to plant-based and lab-grown protein, are projected to reduce grocery expenses by late 2025 as production scale up. Grassroots solutions are gaining momentum too. Community cooperatives for child care, transportation, and bulk food purchasing helps leverage collective bargaining power to lower costs and shared resources. On the energy front, expanded income-based efficiency programs now help households retrofit homes while advancing climate objectives, which is a dual win for your wallet and the environment. Meanwhile, forward-thinking employers are rolling out inflation-adjusted benefits, including commuter assistance, remote work stipends, and enhanced healthcare coverage to offset employees' rising cost of living. Although these developments won't erase economic pressures immediately, they do signal a growing recognition of operational challenges and mark meaningful progress towards more sustainable systems of affordability. Surviving 2025's economic squeeze requires you to have a dual focus, tackling your immediate needs while future-proofing your finances. There is no universal fix, but flexibility is your superpower. For example, you might use gig apps like TaskRabbit for quick cash today while taking free online courses in AI prompt engineering, which is a skill predicted to boom in 2026. Meanwhile, a retiree could offset grocery bills by renting unused garage space on Neighbor, which is a peer-to-peer storage app, while transitioning to a climate-resilient smart garden to cut long-term food costs. This blend of hustle and foresight creates what economists now call the resilience trifecta: diversifying your income, side gigs plus freelance plus rent income, upscaling strategically, targeting AI, green tech, or healthcare rule, and adopting layer saving tactics like meal prep and co-op bulk buying, as well as energy efficient home retrofits. In 2025, stagnation is riskier than reinvention. Every small pivot adds up to your stability. Living affordably in 2025 isn't about massive sacrifice or complicated schemes. It's about making informed choices and small adjustments that add up. Let's recap the most important takeaways from today. It's critical to recognize that financial struggles are rarely personal shortcomings, but rather symptoms of broader economic systems impacting people globally. Widespread challenges like inflation, wage gaps, and rising costs affect individuals across all socioeconomic groups and geographical regions. Your experience is grounded in a collective reality, not your failure. Acknowledging this universal issue helps you detach from self-blame and shame, which helps you create a mental space for a resolution. By reframing difficulties as shared social issues rather than personal deficits, you can approach problem solving with a clear focus, directing your energies towards practical strategies rather than unproductive guilt. This mindset shifts you from internalized defeat to informed action and lays the foundation for you to have a more effective, emotionally sustainable navigation of today's economic landscape. While large-scale economic forces like inflation or housing costs may feel beyond your control, meaningful progress begins by focusing on controllable factors within your daily financial ecosystem. Start by auditing your work habits. You can negotiate remote work to cut commuting costs, changing spending patterns, and develop skill development. While large-scale economic forces like inflation or housing costs may feel beyond your control, meaningful progress begins by focusing on controllable factors within your daily financial ecosystem. Start by auditing your work habits, change spending patterns, and skill development. Small, consistent adjustment can lead to major long-term gain. For example, negotiating just 3 monthly bills down by $20 each frees up about $60 a month, and that's an additional $720 over a year. These are funds that could bolster savings, pay down debt, or invest in career-enhancing certifications. These strategies aren't about overnight fixes, but build adaptive financial muscle, training yourself to spot insufficiencies, prioritizing growth opportunities, and redirecting saved resources towards stability. By concentrating your energy on these actions, you transform economic uncertainty from a paralyzed force into a navigatable challenge. Thriving in uncertain economic times increasingly depends on leveraging collective strength rather than relying solely on individual effort. Resilient households build security through cooperative strategies, sharing physical spaces, pooling buying power via community grocery clubs for bulk discounts, or organizing child care swaps with trusted neighbors to slash daycare expenses. These networks extend beyond material gain. They foster knowledge and create safety nets for unexpected setbacks. Modern duplication of this approach includes hyper-local apps for borrowing, selling used items, or time banking platforms where services like tutoring or home repairs are traded without cash. By embracing interdependence, you not only ease financial pressures, but also activate relationships that buffer against isolation, turning community collaboration into a sensible, proactive response to systematic challenges. Navigating economic uncertainty also requires you to have a dual focus, cultivating an opportunity-oriented perspective while cleverly layering short, medium, and long-term actions. Start by reframing challenges as potential opportunities. And economic shift often create demand for niche skills, hybrid services, or community-driven solutions. Ask yourself, where do your strengths intersect with emerging needs? Could it be a freelance role, local sustainability project, or digital tools that address pain points in your network? Pair this proactive mindset with tiered financial planning. Immediately reclaim action by auditing your bills, exploring flexible work models, adopting one weekly cost-cutting habit, and joining hyperlocal resource sharing groups. Within 6 to 12 months, prioritize building a financial buffer, start micro-saving. Even $5 weekly can help. Diversify your income, side gigs, or monetize hobbies. Reassess your housing costs as leases renew, and initiate skill building recession-resistant fields like healthcare, IT, or green energy. Long-term investing in education or training for future-proofing your career. Explore relocation to lower-cost areas if remote work permits. Establish cooperative networks like Child Care Collective, skill bartering systems, and engage in advocacy for structural reforms like affordable housing policy. By balancing calculated prudence with strategic growth, you create a scaffold that transforms economic pressures into purposeful momentum by addressing today's needs while building the capacity to thrive in tomorrow's unknown landscape. Remember, your financial stability is a journey, not a destination. Just start with one strategy from today's video and build from there. Execution matters more than perfection. A simple plan you follow is better than a complex one you're banned. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing for more practical guidance. In the comments, let me know which strategy you've tried first or share some tips that have worked for you. Next week, we'll explore more creative ways to enhance your job security and future work that are tailored to your specific situation and priorities. Thank you for watching. And remember, you've got this. Economic challenges are temporary, but the skills and strategies you develop now will serve you for years to come. Peace and love.